Thumbelina. Once upon a time, a woman lived by herself in a faraway village. She did not have any children. One day, she went to her friend who was a good witch. She gave her a grain of barley and told her to go back home and plant it. The next morning, a beautiful plant had grown from the seed. It had a lovely flower that looked like a tulip. The woman had never seen a flower like that and was mesmerized by its beauty. She gently kissed one of its petals. As she did that, the flower blossomed open. Inside it was a beautiful little girl, no bigger than the size of a woman's thumb. The woman instantly fell in love with her and called her Thumbelina. Thumbelina took away the woman's loneliness. In the day, she would tell her stories and talk to her. Sometimes she would make Thumbelina a boat out of a tulip petal which she could row in a plate full of water. At night, Thumbelina would sleep in a bed made out of a walnut shell with a blanket made of a rose petal. One night, as she was sleeping, a frog came to her window and saw her. He thought to himself, "What a beautiful girl! She'll make a lovely bride for my son." And so he grabbed Thumbelina and hopped away to his home. "She is beautiful, father. I'll marry her. But before that, I want to build her a beautiful house," said his son. "I'll put her on a water lily in the middle of the pond till then. This way she'll not be able to escape." And so the frog put Thumbelina in the middle of the pond on a water lily leaf. Thumbelina tried to escape from her new home, but when she couldn't, she broke down crying. Two minnows were sitting under the same leaf, and they heard her cry. They asked her about her troubles, and when she told them, they decided to help her. They nibbled away the lily stem. Soon it broke and floated away with Thumbelina. Just when Thumbelina thought she was free, a beetle came down and took her away to his home. He called over his friends to introduce them to his pretty prisoner, but the beetle's friends told him that she was too different than them and she didn't belong to them. "I agree. I think I should let her go," thought the beetle, and so he dropped her in a long grass and flower. Thumbelina was very happy that she was free. One day, as she was walking, she stumbled upon a small house made of mud. It had a strange round entrance. She went up to it and knocked on the door. A mouse opened the door. "Hello, isn't it cold out there for you today? Come in, please." "Thank you very much," said Thumbelina. Once Thumbelina was settled comfortably in the mouse's house, he asked her about who she was. Thumbelina told him her entire story. "Don't worry, you can stay here as long as you like," said the mouse. So, Thumbelina started staying in her newfound home. To make herself useful in the house, she would cook for the mouse and tell him stories. After a few days, the mouse said he had invited a guest over. "He is the richest mouse in all the land. He is a very good friend of mine." That night, the mouse's friend came over for dinner. They all talked and had a good time. He wanted to take her home. Thumbelina had no choice but to go along with what was happening. When the friend offered to show her his home, she agreed to visit his house, and the three of them set off together. On the way, they entered a tunnel. There, they found an injured swallow lying on the ground. The mouse's friend kicked it and rudely said, "Serves her right. What is she doing in the tunnels? He should have stayed in the air." Thumbelina was shocked to see that someone could treat another like this. Unseen by the mice, she ran away from there. Once she was sure that the mice had left, she came back and attended to the swallow. She took great care of her till she was fit to fly again. A few months had passed. The mouse found Thumbelina again. Just then she heard a familiar voice. "Come, come away with me, where your spirit will always be free," said the swallow. And they flew away. When they reached the land of the flowers, the swallow landed Thumbelina on a beautiful flower petal. "This is the kingdom of the flowers, and that is their king," told the swallow. Thumbelina saw a handsome young king with beautiful wings. He was surrounded by lovely flowers. Her presence attracted the king's attention. "Will you marry me?" asked the king. "Yes," replied Thumbelina with a big smile. As happiness spread across her face, she grew a beautiful pair of wings and became the flower queen. Soon they got married and lived happily ever after.